Okay, hello everybody. I'm Krista and I'm joined by Lupin and Sophie. We're going to give you a bit of a debrief about how MobilizeU went this summer and also share some updates. So just a very quick background in case you don't know. MobilizeU, you can see a little timeline here, how we got started. It started at York originally, and then over the years, we've been collaborating with other RIC members. So in 2021, we collaborated with Memorial and University of Winnipeg. And then 2022, so last year, we offered MobilizeU to all RIC members in the summer. And then at that time, we had a working group through the professional development committee, and that kind of morphed into a full-on MobilizeU committee after the success of last summer. So we've all been working away at this for quite a while, and so this past summer we offered the second instance of RIC-wide MobilizeU in English and French this year. It's very exciting. Sorry, just trying to scroll. Okay, that might be easier. Okay. So what is MobilizeU? So it's an 8-week program, and the format is self-directed. It's a combination of asynchronous and synchronous learning. It's aimed mostly for beginner mobilizers. It is free for all RIC members, and there is a small fee for non-RIC participants. And if you'd like more details, you can read that on your own. So the committee, we had a fabulous group of people from coast to coast. I think it's institutions are represented here, and it really was a collaborative effort. We've been meeting weekly since it was bi-weekly for a while in January, and then we moved to weekly in the summer. So we've been doing a lot of hard work, not just sort of consulting, but also a lot of the people on the committee provided content for the course this summer as well. So yay to our amazing committee. Thank you. And just a question, if you want to put your hand up here in the room, or your virtual hand up, or you can annotate the slide if you want. How many people here either participated or know someone who participated in Mobilize this year? Great, that's awesome. Good to hear. Okay. Now, I will transition.
All right, we just wanted to demonstrate how collaborative we are. And so we're showing you how it works in real time. So we had this interesting thing in our first committee meeting for 2023 was that we didn't have a goal statement for the program. And so that was the first thing we did. And I'm just going to read it to you here. It's build capacity to engage in knowledge mobilization as a practitioner through networking, skills, and theory across the RIC network. So we just needed something to make sure that we were framing up all the work that we were doing in the development of the program. This led us to add a few things. So these are our weekly topics. If you've been a part of MobilizeU in previous years, you'll see they look quite familiar. But two key differences this year was introducing a week on theories, models, and frameworks. That was like my push on the committee. Thank you for accommodating me. And it turned out it worked out pretty well, so that was cool. And then engaging audiences effectively was another addition this summer. And previously we had 2 weeks on communications, but we wanted to make it a little bit clearer about different ways of engaging different audiences. So other new things this year. Oh, there's like a whole, this was fun for you on that side of the room to be looking at that. So you're welcome. We always do live sessions, 8 live sessions, but we did 8 live sessions this year. So yes, good for us. We got that done. And the big difference this year is we had French interpretation. Didn't like super work out in week 1, but we fixed that. And so that was new. Big, humongous amount of work. is we recorded core content lectures for each week. And that was done by those committee members. They either did it or they coordinated it. Plus, we had all of those translated into French. We created weekly topic summaries based on that core content, also with additional links to resources that to go deeper in your learning on those weeks, and translated the topic summaries in French. And I should say, yes, they all started as in English. So that's what happened. That's just what happened. And then linked to those topic summaries was curating weekly resource lists, which were, guess what, translated into French. Everybody now. Okay, anyway, we felt really good about this. All our core content is really nicely branded and looks really pretty as well. Thank you, Sophie. And now to Sophie to give us a bit of a numbers gig.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of what the audience was, I guess, and who our participants were in the program. So we had 301 applications and 301 total registrants, 273 from RIC members and 28 from non-RIC organizations. We had an average of 145 people at each live session, and sometimes we had up to like 160, 170, which was super exciting. So lots of participation in those. There were 268 assignments submitted and 177 completed course certifications, which is a 58% completion rate. And that's like pretty good compared to like other similar programs. And yeah, 233 attended at least one live session. So our participants kind of came from a lot of different places, but primarily were staff and knowledge brokers, and then students, postdocs, primarily grad students and postdocs, but also a few undergrad students as well. There were 50 faculty members in attendance, 9 community partners, and 7 from various other organizations. So little competition here. Simon Fraser University sent 26 participants, the most out of any institution, followed by University of Calgary, U Ottawa, Regina. And for completion rate, actually the non-RIC participants had the highest completion rate. Followed by the University of Alberta, Windsor, University of Regina. We do have all of these numbers if anyone is curious to come ask me about like how many people were sent from their institution, you totally can. And we had 23 out of 26, I believe, RIC organizations in attendance. Yeah. But this is you.
So we did do a feedback survey of the participants at the end of the course, and we got 48 responses, so a 27% response rate, which is not bad. Sounds low, but it's really not that bad. But we really liked was 4.5 stars out of 5, average likelihood that people would recommend the course to someone else, which we're quite happy about that outcome. And then we asked them they found most useful about the program, the different program components. So you can see here that they thought all of them were useful, but particularly the live sessions, followed by the core content videos, and then the topic summaries. So quite interesting to see the results of that. We do have the full survey results available if anyone is interested in kind of digging into that a little bit more. And we always get some really nice comments throughout the course, but especially at the end. But these were some that kind of stood out to us. So I'll read the middle one out. The recorded core content videos were very helpful. The live sessions also helped better understand how the core content is applied in real world. So it's one of the benefits of being part of the sort of the running of the course is you get to hear these great comments from people. And then, excuse me. Okay, I'll keep going. Of course, people always have feedback and suggestions. So these are some of the ideas that the committee has talked about based on the feedback and the suggestions that we got from the survey. These are some of the things that the committee is going to go away and kind of think about it. So one thing that came up was for a lot of our UK members, the timing didn't work so well. It turned out to be, I think it was 6 o'clock in the evening for them. So we may think about offering a separate course just for UK members that works a little bit better for the timing. And our course is very Canadian content heavy, obviously, but it might be interesting to sort of infuse that separate offering with more UK content. A lot of people wanting to do networking outside of the course. Maybe they met people in the chats or in the breakout rooms and they want to continue the conversation. They asked that we kind of articulate the connection between the recorded core content and the live session guest speakers. So we have some ideas about how to do that. Some of them did want a centralized platform for all the course components. This is a big thing we're going to be discussing. Up until now, we've been using YouTube and Dropbox and all that. But we don't really have sort of one place where all of the course components live. So we'll be talking about that. Standardizing the topic summaries, they all kind of looked a little bit different. So we might just work on the formatting of them so they all look similar. And this has come up year after year, is provide breakout room facilitators. We get the feedback that some of the breakout rooms are great discussions. Others, if you get a quiet group, it can be a little awkward and slow. So that's a continuous improvement thing for us. We'll be talking about that. Okay.
So I showed the little like targets, that thing, a summary of what we did. So we did have, these as our goals. Oh, there's one that's doubled. Well, maybe it's hiding one. So another really cool one, which I don't remember. That's cool. So we had set out for this year, for 2023, to record that core content. We did it. To establish our working committee, and just to warn the committee members, you don't have to be on it forever, but it will be running. I mean, you could be on it forever. To hire an extremely excellent MobilizeU coordinator. We did a really good job on that one, Sophie. And we got funding. Thank you, Rick, you all, for supporting that work, because obviously all of that costs a lot of money. We wanted to do a formal evaluation. It's still on the list, but we were doing so many other things. We just haven't gotten there yet. So, anybody want to join that little effort, you are welcome to. Dun, dun, dun. What is next for 2024? Obviously, you would now all want to be on our committee because it's so fun. So anyway, but before we get there, we're going to do a little prioritizing. We are going to pilot an adapted version for a local context, evaluate it, and produce a bit of a toolkit for other RIC member organizations. And that's going to be done at SFU and York, supported by Sophie. That formal evaluation, I'm looking at you. We want to update our MobilizeU webpage and promotional materials, consider that platform that Krista mentioned, and explore the option, which we've also heard before, for a MobilizeU 201. So if MobilizeU that we do right now is 101, what's the next one? And maybe a summer institute. That, again, that is one of our dreams. We're not quite there yet, probably, because we are doing so much else. But we want to have a little check-in from you. We can do popcorn style, throw it in the chat, yell it out, jump up and down. What would encourage you to promote MobilizeU or get involved with it in some capacity as a member of RIC? Just any ideas that we can do better to support your engagement with us? Yeah.
So I was wondering about the breakout room facilitators you mentioned and where you're thinking of getting those from. I'm wondering if you're looking at the folks in this room to sort of volunteer to step in for that.
Yes.
This was not a planted question.
Yes, absolutely. That's a wonderful way. So if you like facilitating breakout rooms and you know, that would be like 1 week you'd have to do it. 1 week. So it's like a low commitment, but so much fun because then you get to meet people from across the country. Any other ideas? Yeah.
I just want to say a big merci, because now that you've been translating everything in French, we're going to be able with our team to think about how to be able to offer the program at UQAM and maybe with Université de Montréal. So we are very happy because for us, it was a need to be able to be part of this community and use these tools. So now it's the time. So merci beaucoup.
Thank you. And so another idea too is for you, probably might want to get is setting up one of the live sessions with a French like as the primary language of the speaker, because we did not have that this summer. Yeah. Pilot. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that like an all bilingual, deeply bilingual. I am from BC. Nobody speaks French. I mean, the only people that have moved to BC from somewhere else, basically. Okay. I can see there's probably things in the chat, but okay. Yes, excellent. You're in, Elizabeth. Anyway, I'm gonna go to our next slide so you can have an idea. So here are some of our ideas. Facilitate, thank you. And, you know, I kind of put these words in your mouth, Shule, but facilitate or, you know, suggest a guest speaker or bring a guest speaker on board. You can also, so we have great resources, but you can send us more, particularly French. So not like all of our stuff, our core content is in French, but a lot of the resources we point to, I'm going to say 99% of them are English, and they're not necessarily translated. So that we would like to build up that capacity as well. So if you have those, yeah. Oh, sorry. So we offer it in the summer, and it typically is June and July. We try to avoid August because lots of folks tend to take the August vacation time in August. So I don't have specific dates yet for you, but it will be June and July. But we probably as a committee will start to meet in soon. So if you were interested in the committee, please reach out to one of us. Yes.
I would like to do something about promoting MobilizeU at University of Alberta. I'm just wondering if is there some stuff, promo material available to me?
Yeah, so
okay.
We do produce, and I'll come right back to you, Heather. We do produce, what do you call it? Like I think it was Liz maybe, or one of the RIC team produced a communications package that we sent in some format, which I can't remember how we sent it to you, but what I'm hearing is maybe you didn't get it. And so if you think, you know, like you're the contact person for promotion, let us know so we make sure we do a direct email to you with that package. Heather.
So yeah, I was going to yell. So thank you for the segue. I don't know if this is possible, and I'm looking at Sophie because she could probably make it happen. Could we get a little TikTok with some actual snippets of maybe the presenters that shows a little overview of here's some of the cool topics? Yeah,
like a TikTok or Instagram reel, but some
like a little video, a short reel that we can then.
Great idea.
We can just
Yeah.
circulate and say
this
is what it is, because email packages are kind of boring.
100%. Yeah, I love it. Great. And Jen.
Apologies if you mentioned this, but do you offer the guest speakers an honorarium?
So we do. Basically we do when they're not already paid to be there, is what I'm thinking. Is that the right answer,
Yeah,
Krista? Krista knows
we-
this answer better.
We do have, we have a budget for honoraria. Most of our research speakers, so either faculty or staff, they don't tend to accept it just because they feel like that's part of their job is to talk about their work or their research. But if they're community partners, we're kind of insistent on giving them that honorarium. So yes, especially if you're thinking of potential guest speakers and if you have community partners, that's something when you put the call out, you can specifically mention that we will be paying for their time and expertise, and knowledge.
David?
Australia wants an instance of MobilizeU. I don't know how we'll do that with time zones.
I
That's
don't mind being flown down there for 8 weeks. A
everyone's
combination
membership
of
fees
our-
now double. But I did talk about MobilizeU when I was in Australia last week. And I'll ask Krista to talk about it because it's a unique instance of MobilizeU that you delivered for our United Way partners. And that caught their attention, especially Western Sydney University, because they realized, ooh, we need to be building capacity in our partner organizations as well as in our own. So could you talk a little bit about the United Way instance that you did?
Yeah, so the York version of MobilizeU that we run at York, we normally run in the fall and winter semesters, but we occasionally do sort of custom versions. And one thing that we wanted to do was provide a community partner version for community serving organizations. So we partnered with United Way Greater Toronto and offered a version for them. It was very different. Instead of 8 weeks all at once, it was 5 sessions over 6 months. So we did sort of once a month, and the topics came from our partner at the United Way and the guest speakers. We kind of took a bit of a back seat. We shared everything with them, and they kind of took over in terms of the content and hosting and that, but it looked quite different, but it was great. We had, I think in total over the 5 sessions, about 200 participants from 400 organizations across the GTA. So we haven't gotten any formal feedback from them, but I think, we had some really good attendance and some really good discussions as well, and just kind of infusing the knowledge mobilization conversation into those organizations.
Sylvia? Okay, I was actually gonna say, what's that? Oh, Celia said the slides were really pretty, and I actually was like, when I stood up here, I was like, I really feel like I should say, Sophie made these beautiful slides. So thank you, Sophie, good job. I just realized that I totally ignored the online folks, so I'm so sorry. I'm not great at multitasking. Is there anything on the chats today, or could one of their people, who's?
Yeah, we don't have too many comments in the chat.
Okay.
Just a couple of comments from Elizabeth, who would love to join the MobilizeU team in some way, and you've provided the get involved slide. So, yeah.
Excellent. So what we should have said on that get involved slide is like our email addresses, but oh, it's on the next slide. Oh, you're so smart. Okay. Sorry, there we go. So email any of us and let us know how you'd like to get involved, and if you just want promo materials, we'll send that to you. Yeah. And I think it's 2:30, so I'm being mindful of time, and thanks for listening.